Hi everyone, so today I'll be trying out this awesome set of dies and stamps and things that Die & Press has brought to HSN ahead of the July 15th craft day there. And I know you guys have been waiting for this one. This is so cute. I love their K-cup holders, and I'm sure this one is going to be just as spectacular as the other iterations. This one always fly out the door. So I'm going to show it to you, and it does have an add-on. They're calling it an upsell of a holiday theme. So this one is your Stampin' Die Kit, K-Cup, Hot Chocolate, and Tea. And then again, you have the stamp set that makes it more of a holiday set. So let me see if I can open this up. If not, I'll just... Sometimes I can pop them pretty quick, and sometimes it takes me a minute. So there you go. All right. So I will say that Die & Press did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course, all opinions are my own. And the links I'll have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. Currently with HSN and YouTube, the link should be in here. Somebody had said, "Oh, you don't have links." They're in the video, so it just depends on you're watching. It shows like show products or shop products, and if you click that, they'll pop up on the right. So if you have expanded screen, you're not going to see them. It has to be like the default video watcher. And then down in the description box, so right under the title of the video, there's a description box. If someone has a recipe or their social media or written out pattern for crochet or whatever they might do, it's going to be in the description box. So you always want to know where that is, because that's a helpful spot to find all the information that you might need. So right under there might be a little thing that says like ... more, because the description box is only showing the very top of it, and then when that expands, you'll see everything down in there, and the links will be there. So thanks for asking about that, and I always like to clarify that every once in a while here. So let's check this out. So you do have your stamp, the add-on. I'll just take it out of the sleeve here. Acrylic stamps. Somebody asked about and I always try to talk about this, but I know in my videos there's a lot of information, a lot of talking, I know. If the Grand Marquis dies or these dies will go in, an Empress machine or whatever. Yes, thin metal dies, all thin metal dies. You can bring other thin metal dies to your Grand Marquis, to your Marquis, as long as they fit right. And on the cutting folders, what I'm trying to say, not fit like thickness. And then you can also take these and put them through any other machine. So don't feel like, oh, I have to have a die & press machine to cut these dies. No, they're all, it doesn't matter if the dies are black, silver, gold, pink, all these colors that people make their dies in. As long as they're thin metal dies, all machines that cut thin metal dies are interchangeable, okay? So I try to say that every time, but like I said, I know that info probably gets lost somewhere in there with all the stuff I do present. So okay, so if you're not familiar with the K-cup holders, they're going to hold K-cups for you, and they're super cute. So this one has the handle in the back. It doesn't have to have a handle. We'll talk about that as we go through the information there. It has some other panels and things that you're going to need, and then, of course, the holder for the little K-cup. I suppose if you don't want to put that in there, you can put something else. You can still use this and maybe put some, like, Bath & Body type stuff in here, right? Whatever fits in this kind of shape. Or, again, don't use that insert, and you can just pop things in there. But let's look at this. So this is kind of what they're showing you here. What you're going to want is the carrier, the insert, a little gift tag, if you want to pop that on there, and maybe a sentiment banner or one or the other, or however. If you're making a ton of these, maybe you want to just use one piece or however. It can be a single carrier. Well, they're calling it a double carrier because it's the one side that holds 2 cups, or a quad carrier, meaning it can hold 4. So you're just going to make 2 of these and glue them together in the back so it has... both sides are completed that way. Again, handle, no handle, right? So you can do that just a solid back, or pop in this inlay die here that makes it a handle. And then, of course, your insert and all that kind of stuff. So we have that going. And then the sides and all those kinds of good things. So obviously we're going to assemble that together. So I just want to show you kind of a little bit about it. You can decorate the back and all that stuff. And then at the very end, you pop in that insert so you can hold your K-cup. And it has cute things like, I love this little, I would say just a mug. I don't know if one's a teacup or however. They both look dainty-ish. And then it has a little die to make like whatever color you want. If you want to do a little stamping on that, a little design. It also has these little tags. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. So you can make it look like a little tea. And it says things like hot stuff, let's party, tea time, and cocoa crazy. And then you have your like kind of a latte kind of drink, right? More of a fancy beverage here with a little whip on top, or hot cocoa in a cup, like paper cup, however you want to do that. And then you have your mugs. So I guess, yeah, those are teacups. These are the mugs down here. And you have your little option of making it whatever color. You have, you know, marshmallows that have a little like a little detail to them to make them look a little more dimensional. Or again, the whip that's different from this whip. So that's cool. And then use stamps and dies to embellish. So you have like a little piece of chocolate, a little, you know, candy cane looking piece there, a little heart, something that looks like citrus or lemon, and then the little steam. So they're showing you all these ways you can deck that out. This is so cute. I mean, you can just use those things on cards. Really cute. The teapot, and then again a bigger heart for that. And then you have the tag with like long time no tea, one sip at a time, hot cocoa, kisses. Anyway, you can check those out. And then the sentiment banner. So you are terrific. Glad we're besties. You know, you're such a cutie. Mug full of thanks for you. Warm wishes on your special day. And to and from. And stuff like that. There are other sentiments. I just kind of read over those quite quickly there. Okay, so the dies, again, I always try to give measurements anyway. These look like they're geared for the marquee because they do come with a marquee cutting folder. Somebody had asked, oh yeah, because the Grand Marquis ones say Grand Marquis on them, you're only supposed to use it. Well, they say Grand Marquis on them because obviously the larger dies in that are not going to fit in the marquee. But again, you can put them in any machine that will accommodate the size, right? That cut the metal dies. The largest one here, I would say, is this one, but in the width, I guess. But you can also put it in this way. So let me just give you a measurement. It is 4 3/8. And I'm looking metal to metal, so you know if it fits in whatever machine you have, by 4. And then this one, so that's why I always try to give you guys a measurement. If I forget, I'll do it at the end, you know, I try to do it right here up on top, but just over 6 inches, slightly just over 6 inches by 4 1/8, okay? So you're going to want to know that you have a machine that can accommodate those things. But like I said, this one isn't, you know, oversized for like the Grand Marquis. It's fine. If you have the Marquis, it'll work. And then you have all your pieces again, you know, your your teapot, and all the, I love the die cutting on this. This is so cute. So then the things for your tags, right? And again, these things aren't tiny. Like if you put a couple of these on a card, you're going to have a cute card. It's about 2 inches wide by just about 2 inches deep, right? You know, your tags sizes are just like 1 and, I don't know, 3/4 or so as far as the stamp itself. So very, very cute. And then again, the upsell is this one that gives you just more sentiments, and they're more geared towards holiday, where the other ones might be just kind of warm and cute like that. So this one, it says, use dies for original kit with the stamps from the upsell, right? Because this is a stamp set. So you can see we have the dies and stuff over here. So let's put that there for a second. I'll show that to you in a minute. But warm winter wishes, pumpkin spice and everything nice, mugs and kisses, candy cane wishes, a cup of cheer, hug and a mug, sugar and spice, make the holidays nice. And I know I go through things quickly because it's going to take time to do the tutorial. If you want to slow down the speed, you can do that in the settings. A lot of people tell me they watch my videos sped up, if you can imagine. So the little settings, you can do that. And then you have, again, the tag shape, and this one has things like chocolate, wait, hold on, twinkling lights and hot chocolate nights. Where does this one start? Let me see. Fueled by hot chocolate, it says it twice. Warm winter wishes, nice pumpkin, hold on. Pumpkin spice and everything nice. I'm trying to find where the beginning of it is. Christmas in a cup with a little gingerbread guy. That's so cute. Okay, see, I was already starting to read this one in the wrong spot. The secret ingredient is always love. Okay, that's what that one says. And then just a homemade just for you. Very cute. And then, of course, the teas and all that. So this one has like little apples and cute things. So what's interesting about that is that it's the same die. Let me see if I can find it on here. The same wedge die, this one, that made the citrus, and this time it can cut a little apple that is very cute. So it's like mulled cider or something, right? So again, your tags will have the little heart, things like love you, cozy time, hot cocoa, and hey pumpkin, or punkin, sorry. So they're showing you some different ways to use that. And then you have these cute little icons, again, to decorate your mugs with. And then you have some other, you know, just like a full snowflake shaped, a little, it looks like maybe an apple cut in half, I think so. And then a cinnamon stick that before it was a candy cane, remember? And then so different ways of using that there. So that just gives you some more options. And then let me focus on that for you guys. Again, nice and large. These aren't tiny little shrinking flowers here. Shrinking violet? What do people say? I don't know. There you go. Very cute. So I'm going to grab some cardstock to start with. And then, of course, we'll do some stamping to add some cute detail. And I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'll use obviously the main set and then maybe make it Christmassy so you can see both those working together. But of course, I mean, you have all these different ways of doing it. And then be careful when you take off. I took this off and I just realized when I walked back, I'm like, oh, there's another die here. So it was stuck on my carrier. It probably came from right here, it looks like. So almost lost my second lip. I did grab a couple pieces of cardstock as far as craft card, like why not? Excuse me, I was gonna say, I know I was probably subliminally messaged by this. Subliminally. Oh my gosh, why can't I get that out? Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna take this guy. And again, I mean, if you want to put these things in the ground marquee, you can run several things through at the same time because you have the ability to do that. So, because of the size, so you definitely want to, I'm going to use the handles to show you guys that. You don't have to put the handle on there. It just has like a backing piece and that'd be fine. We're going to have that guy. And then we're going to need, let me show you real quick. It doesn't really say, because a lot of times they'll tell you at the very beginning up here, like cut this, this, and this, but you're going to want the insert. You're going to need the same one that has the insert for the portion that goes inside is the base. It's the bottom of your project here. So for this craft card, I'm going to use one of these guys, right? And you can see, I mean, if that tape wasn't there, we would have all that. And again, tape that down. We don't want things to move. You're going to need one of those for now, and then the two sides and then one of the front. So that's what I thought. Okay, so just one of these guys. It's the front piece. And then you're going to need two of the side. And that's just to make the basic carrier. And then I'll also take this guy. Take it off of there, obviously. Put it on here. This is just scrap paper, guys. I'm going to put that on here and then add this inlay to it. So when I bring it to my red paper, again, just like I inlaid that, I'll put a piece of tape holding that down, but over here, okay? And I'll run that through. So I'll have all those base pieces when I come back. And it looks like you can definitely make a carrier, you know, from one A2 size piece of cardstock, you'll have your carrier there. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I have all my pieces here. Oh, that's funny. The little circle stayed there, of course. Like this little guy. We can use it for something else. So I have all these guys. If there's any stamping you want to do or decorating, you know, they're showing it's better to do that when it's flat. Obviously the stamping especially, but the other stuff, if you want to just pop it in later, it shouldn't be a problem. But let's go ahead and do a little stamping. And we'll go from there. So, I mean, if you want to stamp on the sides or whatever else you're thinking about, I always use the right side being where the die kind of came in at it, right? So that's the right side of this one. Actually, you have this guy here, and you're going to need one to be the right side, one to be the wrong side, so they can fit opposite like this. So this one has a little rough edge. Some people like to go over this with like a bone folder, your silicone thing, run it back through your machine. There's all kinds of tips to get that little rough edge off, if it's rough at all, but you know, you can just kind of go in and try to just smooth that out, basically. Lots of tips. I'm sure people will leave them in the comments. Okay, so we have this guy. I love the little handle because this, when you turn it back, it feels extra sturdy. So just kind of get that scored. I probably should have left my bone folder out. If you want to glue it, you don't have to. You can just leave it like that. Generally, I glue that down, so that's fine, but I'll do it in just a moment. This is going to be the front of my carrier. You know, this is at the bottom and all that good stuff. So I'm going to turn it over. This is going to be the back side. We can do a to and from if you want. You don't have to, but that's in the original kit, right? Your to and from. And let me grab some ink. Actually, let's make it more festive. So I'm going to use these inks from the new quad. This is the Cozy. So the holiday brights, or what they're calling brights, is this one because it has like yellow, and that's how you all remember that. But this is the Cozy set, I believe. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And to and from. That looks pretty straight to me, so I'm just going to pick that up. Get some red ink on that. Stamp that, and again, just letting that soak in since I'm not using a stamp positioner, and that's perfect. Let me put that up in just a moment. I don't want to misplace those. Again, that's from the original set, the to and the from. And then on this opposite side, maybe we'll do the Christmas in a cup. This is very cute. Okay, so I have my little gingerbread guy, and I'm gonna stamp it with some brown ink. And I'm gonna do the double carrier, you know, the single side, but of course if you're doing the double, you just do two of them and glue them together, okay? You don't have to do the to and the from, at least not there, because you're gonna cover it up anyway. I think I'll pop this little guy here. Again, letting that soak in, since I'm not using a stamp positioner. Just making sure all areas are touching. Very cute. We'll do a little die cut mug, or whichever one we choose to do at that point. Let me clean up just a little bit. Okay guys, and if you're following along with your instructions, you know, we pretty much did all this part, right? 1 through 3. So we're on 4, so you want to stamp and embellish, carry your pieces as desired, which we did. Very cute to decorate on the back there. Fold backside to backside along all scored lines, all these kinds of things. So let's get that going. So we have this guy ready to go. This is the front, this is the back. And like I said, I like to glue mine down. Oh, dropped the little lid from my pokey tool. But anyway, so I just like to hold that down. This paper is quite thick, so I'm gonna hold that for a minute because it's gonna want to pop back open. And I'll be right back. Okay, so that's ready to go. And the instruction, it's not confusing, but what they're showing you is that you want the nice side of this to be showing when you add this portion that we're going to build up right now, because that's the back sides. So if that makes sense, so this is going to go on here, and then you're going to construct this up inside. So the nice side, you know, whatever it is that you want facing you in the front should be facing up, and then the rough sides of this. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But anyhow, so we're going to take this and score it all around. Keep putting my scoring tool away for some reason. It's like right there. Okay. So score this all up and score up all the pieces that have any score lines. Sorry, that keeps slipping out of my hand there. Right, so this one, same thing. It's the same as this. I'm gonna score it. Again, nice side, rough side. So you score towards the rough side. These guys score in, and so you're gonna have one again that has the nicer side, one that the rough side is gonna be showing because you need it for the opposite side there, and then this guy just scores down in here. If you're gonna do some coloring or whatever you want to do with that, go ahead. I'm trying to see what they're showing as far as that. So for the quad carrier, obviously they're saying, okay, yeah. So this tab right here, they want you to do it at the very end. Okay, just so if you were to glue it now, it's not going to help much, but later when you have it here and you glue it in, it's just going to help hold that in and all that kind of good stuff, right? Let me score this one. I'll be right back. Okay, we're essentially on step 5. If you want to go ahead and put your little banner on here, I mean, that's something I can pop on at the end. I'm not too worried about it. You don't have to do the banner. Maybe you just want to stamp on that, right? You can do that too. So anyway, this is the nice side of where the die is on top of. And we're going to add these guys on either side. So this is essentially the same shape. It doesn't really matter. But you are going to bring one on the left, right? And one on the right. Just make sure the long glue tabs are in the same place. And then this guy's going to glue down here. Okay, so let's just add some glue. And again, right now all the nice sides are facing me, other than the one that we have to flip, right? And then in the next part we're going to flip that over to adhere it to our back piece. And then that's when you kind of have rough side and nice side facing you to finish that up. Okay, so there's that. And again, I always check just to make sure my scoring lines, everything's good. And yes, I normally or always pretty much use a wet glue because unless you tear this, it's not going to come apart. I feel like liner tapes always have an issue later down the line, you know, so they grab quickly and that's great, but for longevity, definitely a wet glue. Okay, and then this guy, and I'm showing it to you exactly the way we're showing here, so hopefully that makes sense, other than putting the glue on 3 different times, not all at once. And then this guy goes here. And again, right on the edges, I always like to put the glue right at that very base. And if you need to give it a zhuzh, you know, get that glue spread out a little bit, you can definitely do that. Okay. Again, these were all nice sides facing other than this one that we had to flip. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up for just a moment. Okay, so now we're gonna turn this over. Okay, that's what they're showing you. Like, see how they have these little lines? That means that's the rough cut side. Because what you're gonna do is put this here, and then when you shape it, all those rough cuts are on the inside instead of showing right on the outside there. So, I will say, I kept this one piece, and I'm gonna stick everything on here, so maybe I did a little oopsie there, guys, sorry. We should cut 2 of these. I don't know if they depicted that, and I haven't made one of these in a while, but yes, okay. For a double carry, you'll need 2 back pieces in the same style to make a solid back piece, you know, this and this. So I'm going to cut one more out. That means you're going to get a whole project out of an A2 plus a little bit more, and I'm very sorry about that. I should have just waited because I could have just glued this all together at once, which is what I normally do. I'll flip everything back and then glue it down, or I don't glue it at all, like I said. But we do need one more piece, and that's to hide this here. Okay, so I'm going to cut one more piece. I'm going to do the to and from, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just doing my to and from again on this one, and I'm so sorry. And now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's right. I remember in the past when I made these, when I glue them together, you know, at the end, that's when I go ahead and flip these back together or glue them or just leave them hanging there. So I'm going to make a quick adjustment. You do not do this because you're going to do the right thing. You're not going to glue that down or stamp it at that point. Sorry, guys. But I'm going to glue this, and then I'm just going to glue them together. Okay, you can also just cut these off if you don't want them, but they do make the project more sturdy. But like I said, I wouldn't have glued them down. Yeah, I would glue them down at the very end. I'm so sorry. It's been a minute, and I forgot, because I was like, oh, that's when you do the other back. I thought that's what they were showing, but no. Okay, so we're back here. We're going to keep this piece. So again, you need 2 of this. Sorry, guys. Okay. Rough cut side again, right? Here we are. And we're going to take the, whatever you put on here, you know, they have some die cuts and cute things, whatever it is that you want. I'm going to put the die cuts on afterwards because I can kind of shimmy those down in there. It's not a problem. I'm going to take this rough cut, nice side facing you. That's essentially what's going to be facing forward. I'm going to put that on there. And it's so funny because when I was looking at it, I thought, I don't remember seeing a lot of glue tabs. Yeah, you don't see a lot of glue tabs because they do a nice job of hiding them after we put this up. Anyhow, okay, so we have that. And then you're going to put your glue tabs on that back side, right? And then this guy's going to cover everything. So still a rough side facing us here. You're going to take these guys and bring it up. I'm sorry for misleading a little bit there, guys. That was not my intention. Never my intention, of course. I'm going to hold that. And, of course, we're going to do both sides. Again, if you want to decorate the sides, you could have done that. All that stamping, especially, do that before you put anything together, right? So you have that. And then, again, glue on this side. Just making sure that's lined up pretty well before I lay that down. Okay, looks good. We are almost there. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up before we move on to gluing these pieces. Okay, and that was step 7. And even here, sorry, let's go back to step 4. It's telling you back piece 1, back piece 2. You're gonna need it. And it says you don't need that for quad carrier because you're gonna glue it together with the other back, right? You can imagine you have 2 of these and you're gonna glue them together, so it's already gonna have its backing. That's why you don't need that for the quad, okay? And so now we're on step 8, which is essentially to glue these front tabs. So glue here, boop, boop, boop. Glue here, and glue here. And I suppose you can do it all at the same time. So I'm going to put glue on that inner tab. Put lid on this thing. And just trying not to get glue on my hands here, but let's pop those down. I did it anyway. You can do that and then do this one. You don't have to do it all at the same time, but if you do, you're just gonna hold it all together there. Get that butted in. So cute. And you have your little carrier. And like I said, I mean, you don't have to do the K-cup part of it. This can just hold some cute things. Little art supplies, little gift, little pair of socks, fuzzy socks or something, right? All those kinds of things you can fit in something of this size. And I'll give you the measurement right now. It is almost 4.5, like 4 3/8 inch wide. 2 1/4 deep, and we got that another number there. And I mean, at the very height of it, it is like 3 3/4 inch tall. So that is that, and then we're gonna put our back on, right? Like I said, I wouldn't have glued these things in quite yet. I would have just left them both there, and then either glue them together or just leave them alone, right? You don't have to glue them at all. But now we're gonna put this on the very back to hide those glue tabs, and it's all coming back to me now as Celine Dion would have said. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Yeah, Celine Dion, just amazing. Now I have that song in my head about Celine Dion. All right. All right, I'm gonna hold that down and I'll be back and we'll take a look. Okay guys, so that is our little super sturdy K-cup holder. And then this guy just kind of pops in here. So I am gonna do some other die cutting and things, but you can imagine we're gonna pop that in just a moment. We don't have to do that quite yet. So whatever it is that you want to do for that. So let's see, do a little tag. I was gonna say maybe a little mug, like this one has a mug on the side. Again, I can mix and match all these different things that we have. Let's see. Homemade just for you. Warm winter wishes. Twinkling lights and hot chocolate nights. Maybe something like this one. I think I'm going to stamp the little red, this one that looks like a candy cane. Again, this has kind of holidays every day and stuff on there already. But this other set, the stamp set, is mostly just holiday, right? A little bit of fall kind of vibes also. So I have that guy. Hug in a mug, Sharon Spice, candy cane wishes. Oh, let's do candy cane wishes. And I think I'll do that on white paper only because I already did red and I feel like I'd rather just use some white paper at this point for that one. So let's do that. I'll bring this red back. How about the tag? Should we make the tag white also? That's a good question. I'm like, what do I want to do? I'm just stamping this on this white paper because we're going to use the die to cut it out. I'm assuming I left myself enough room on either side to look good. Look how cute. Again, what did I do to prep my stamps? I took it off and I just used it and you saw that. So that's that. Let's see here. Again, I am mixing up a couple of the different sets here with what they got going. Just a little more stamping before I do some die cutting. Again, oh, this guy can also be cut right now, or stamped. Leave myself a little space. Should I do 2 of them? Let's do 2 of those. Since we're saying candy cane wishes, all that good stuff. And this little guy, maybe we'll do red. I'm just trying to think what's a good color. Okay, let's do this red. I'm going to stamp on the opposite side, and this is going to be a little bit dangerous because I'm just going to go for it, and that paper's like curling on me. But I'm going to stamp this in black ink. Kind of wanted to stay with like the brown and those kinds of colors, but that's all right. Okay. And just making sure all areas are touching. Look at that. All areas, especially my fingers. Okay, I'm going to clean up a little bit. And then we'll also die cut like a little mug and stuff. Oh, hold on. One more thing. We do have a dashed line on this one that we can decorate with. We have those little dots on this one, and I think I will do that. And then I'll bring in some black with that, so that way this tag with the black on it and all that just goes. So for that, I will bring out a stamp positioner. Somebody said that it made them laugh that I have so many magnets. I'm like, I know, and it's still not enough. I love having a ton of magnets for a stamp positioner. Okay. So I guess we'll see now if I left myself enough space. I might not have. I think I'm gonna have to redo it, guys. Sorry. I wasn't gonna, I didn't initially plan to do the edging, but I thought, well, it's very cute, so we will do that. So now I'm gonna do that over here. Give myself some room, and then I'll stamp candy cane wishes again in the center of that, guys. And then I'll be right back after I clean up, which is what I was gonna do already initially. Cute. Okay, and then I'll stamp candy cane wishes in here again, clean up, and then we'll do our die cutting. Okay guys, so I grabbed a few different things. We're going to take this guy to cut our little tag. And I mean, you can put it, straight up and down, a little sideways, whatever it is that you want. I think I'll put it right in the center. I can see the little dashed lines, so I think that's pretty good right there. Put a couple of pieces of washi. For this, we have the banner. And again, I can see pretty well where I'm going to be cutting because of those little dots and everything, so that's good. Put it right there. So as far as these little guys, let me see if I can tell. If I can't tell, then I will. I don't know if you can tell. It has a little bit of a curve, so it's going to go this way. I mean, I can see the little red and white. It's not the biggest deal because honestly, they're just going to be kind of tucked in there anyway. So put that there, and then I'll run it through again for the second one. And then since I have a lot of red and things going, I'm still going to stay with that theme. I'm going to make a red mug. It's a little red piece here. White marshmallows, which I guess I can just cut from here, huh? Oh, cool. Okay, so all at the same time I can cut these different marshmallows. If you want to do the little steam, of course you have that. But I'll pop these guys on here and I'll put a little piece of washi over them so that they don't move, and I'll run all those through at the same time. And then there was one other thing. Oh, the cocoa portion of it. And I believe for the mug, it could be this one or this one. Let me see if I can tell in the image here. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think it might be this guy. Sorry guys, let me take one more quick look. I was looking at the other one. This is the one I was looking for. So hopefully you can see, like, this one's kind of a little different from like this, the thinness of this one or this one. So I think it's this one. You can see this one's thin, this one's kind of thin even though it's bigger, but this one's kind of like a little bit wider. So I'm just going to run this through some brown paper and I'll be right back. Okay guys, it's not too bad for just eyeballing that, huh? I'll put that there. I'll put those up in just a moment. Okay, so let's make our little hot chocolate. And I'm thinking about popping these guys behind the actual chocolate. Yeah, that's cute. Okay. And then the marshmallows. And I cut a ton of marshmallows, so I may not need them all, but that's all right. So I'm going to put glue all in here, just so that I can hold these little guys too. Cute. Okay, a little more glue. Put that guy on there. Adorable. Gonna hold that down for a minute since I got some depth under there, some thickness, should I say. Okay. And then we'll just add the marshmallows here and there. I don't know. And then again, the marshmallows all have a little detail to them, which is really awesome. You can see that. That goes there. Maybe I cut too many marshmallows, so let's just go with these guys. Maybe one more. A lot of marshmallows. I kind of like the look of 5 better, so maybe I'll put another one here. Just full of marshmallows. And this one I basically cut to go behind. So again, you could have put this down before we did all your stuff, but I'm just going to take that and put that little guy like right there. A little further up. Again, then this guy's going to go in here. I did cut some little hearts too. There's a cute heart die that has like little stitching, so I cut that guy. Again, this is the same size as the base, so you just kind of want to get that down in there. It holds it taut. If you want to put glue, you know, go for it. I don't think it's necessary, but there you go. So it'll hold your little K-cups in there. Super cute. Then this guy, I think I'm just going to glue it down flat. And again, we could have done this previous. And eyeballing here and here. So I'm going to hold that down for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so just holding that down really good. Okay. A little extra glue there. And then I went ahead and put some dimensionals on these little guys. So I'll put one here. I mean, they look cute also together if you wanted to like put one behind and then the other one on top, however, but I'll put one there, one here. Cute. And then we have this little guy. And I have some twine here. We'll get on there, and it can be tight on there. You can just glue it on. You can make your little bow. It doesn't have to be functional, you know. You just kind of do what you want there. But I think, sure, I'll tie it on. Super cute. And again, if you made a second one, you would just have 2 that don't have an extra back, and then you glue them together. So that's all you would do with that. And you would have your quad carrier. And then, you know, finish it up kind of like what we're doing here. Or however you like. So we'll put that there. Just a lot of different things. Very cute. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that gave you some idea on how to use these, you know, mixing, matching the kits. Sorry about my little oopsie that, again, I just need a refresher. Got ahead of myself. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks so much to Diamond Press for sending these items for review. Like I said, these are always super popular. So, yeah. I don't know. I would jump on it if that's what you want there. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links, again, embedded in the video, possibly down in the description box. And I will see you all at the next one. All right, bye now.